Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be sewing the corset dress that we drafted the other time. Guys, don't mind this tummy, okay? So I used I couldn't get a duchess, onion color duchess, so I used doll face, okay? I used doll face for the upper part, and um it has an invisible boning inside. Okay, so guys, to start up with, I've already cut out my fabric using the pattern. I added half-inch round it, okay, half-inch round. And also remember to notch your bust point. Okay, so this is the back panel, and here is my zipper allowance. I'm going to notch it. So I'm going to notch the zipper area, and I added half-inch down and half-inch upward, and the side I add 1.5. Okay, the side I add 1.5 for sewing allowance, and it's 2 pieces here. Then the next is the front panel. This is the front, and I added extra inch, depend on how deep you want your basque to be. So I added like 3 inches for my basque, so you need to add like 6 inches extra or 5 inches, depending on how deep you want your basque to be. Okay, so this is how I'm going to connect it. I've already curved it out, and then I mark 3 inches downward like this. So I'll connect to this point here. This point and this paper is the same thing. Okay, so just to get accurate curve, or you can cut your corset on fold so that you get um the complete half length. Okay, in case if you cannot do it the way I'm doing it here, so I'll just connect to the half length here like this. Okay, and I form my basque. You can use a straight or curve ruler. So for me, I used a curve ruler, and then I extended it because I added 1.5-inch seam allowance also to the front, and I add half-inch inside. As you can see where the cup is going to be fixed, I added 1/2 inch inside, and to the side I add 1.5, and I cut the fabric on fold. So I cut on fold, and then I open it up to mark the basque. And when cutting, don't cut exactly where you marked, cut 1/2 inch below where you marked, so that for sewing allowance, for joining of your skirt to the bodice. As you can see, I'm not cutting exactly where I marked. I moved down 1/2 inch below where I marked. So next I'm going to show you the cup I've already cut out. So this is what we'll have, and you'll need 2 of these, one for your lining and one for your bodice. Although if you don't have enough fabric, you can use an ordinary lining, but I like using exactly the same thing as my lining also. Okay, so this is the cup cover, and I've already ironed and interfacing. Remember to notch your bust points. As you can see, I notched my bust points. Okay, I notched my bust point. So iron and interfacing on them, and then you're going to place it this way. Okay, and stitch, join them together. And here is the cup. I cut the cup exactly. I did not add sewing allowance to the cup. I cut it exactly the way the pattern is. No sewing allowance. Okay, it's exactly. And then we are going to go join it now. I'll show you how I'm going to join this cup now. The wording, sorry. So this way, if your client has a bigger bust that you cannot find a cup, this is the best way to get a cup size for a big bust. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to make a custom made bra cup. Okay, so you can put it on top of each other and sew just a little bit, like 0.25 on top of each other and sew, or you sew it like this using zigzag stitch. So my machine has a zigzag stitch. I'm going to just use zigzag stitch and sew it. But if your machine don't have a zigzag stitch, just put it on top of each other, a little bit on top of each other, and sew. Okay, I did that on the other one, but I didn't know that I was not videoing it, so I'll just show you guys how I'm doing the zigzag stitch on like this. Just be joining them together the way I'm doing, and then you sew. So this is how you make your custom made bra cup. As you can see, the cup is already forming. So if your client is like bust 44, 50 above, this is how you make their own cup, and it turns out perfectly well. Like when I wore mine, I did not use bra. This is just enough. Okay, so here is the cover. I've already joined them together. So to put this cover, I need to use hemming gum to secure it, to iron it so that it will stay in place. Okay, so here is hemming gum. I'll just cut a little and just randomly share it, just place it so that when you gum, it will just glue the fabric together with the cord, because this wording that I use don't have gum on one side. If you have the one that has gum on one side, you can use that, but I prefer this one. It gives me the perfect fit that I want. The one that has gum is somehow too light or not. So I've already ironed this together. I've ironed it on it. Okay, and make sure that your cup is laying flat like this after making. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how I'll be joining this. So you can join from, mark out your half-inch seam allowance you added. Okay, so I'll just mark out half-inch seam allowance and you place this way and you pin, or you can start sewing straight. Me, I hardly pin, I just sew straight. So all you need to do is you notch your fabric so that it will be easier for you to join your cup to the bodies together. Okay, so I'm just showing you how you pin round in case you're pinning, but I'm not going to be pinning, and I'm going to take you to the sewing machine so that we'll join this together. Okay, so as you can see, it's not up to this point. So either you notch so that it will be enough, or remember, when sewing, be notching. Okay, don't just notch everything, just notch, and then when you are sewing, make sure you are checking to be sure if it will. Anyway, let's just go to the sewing machine. Let me show you guys what I mean. Okay guys, so now I've started sewing from the, as you can see, I notched the bodies. As you can see, I notched. So I'm just going to be pulling it this way, opening it up so that it will fit, and you sew with half-inch. Okay, you sew with the half-inch seam allowance you added. So, and when sewing, be checking. When you notice is not enough, you have to lose. So I noticed that the bodice is longer. Okay, so I loosed and I started again. I noticed it was longer. I loosed and I started again, and I'm not pulling the down one too much again because I realized the notch was too much and it was longer than the cup. So now I'm not pushing it too much again. I'm just kind of controlling how I open it up, and I'm going to measure to be sure it's enough. So if it's not okay, I just need to pull it more again. Okay, I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm done joining this one. We are going to join the second cup now. Okay, so as you can see, it comes out perfect and beautiful. So next we are going to join the other cup, and before then I'm going to just notch round like this, just a little bit. Don't cut above or below your half-inch that you marked. Okay, just notch very close, not too close to the half-inch, and then I'm gonna start joining like this. Okay, place it like this and then you start joining. Okay, so I'll start joining now. You back stitch and then you join, following your mark. Remember, I marked half-inch round. Okay, and then you'll be sewing and be pulling Guys, nobody is above mistake. If you realize it's too long, or one side is bigger or one side is shorter, all you need to do is to loosen and start all over again. Okay, sometimes if you sew, it will just match out to be perfect, just like this one I'm sewing now. It comes out perfect once. Sometimes if you're sewing, you'll notice that one is longer than each other. You need to lose now because you want your work to be perfect, right? So this one I'm making now just matched. It matched accurately, so I did not lose again. It's just the first one that I lose. So whenever you're sewing or making any dress, you make any mistake, there is no big deal. Just lose and sew again. Okay, so now we are done joining the cup. I did not backstitch because I wanted to be sure that what I have is okay before I backstitch. Okay, so that not after backstitching I'll now lose it. Okay, so as you can see, it's perfect. So what I need to do now is to backstitch and tighten it. And sorry guys, the camera is shaking. My baby is around the corner, so he's pulling the tripod. So I'll just backstitch right now here. So it's either you backstitch or you just tie it up and cut the excess thread like this point now. So I just want to show you what I mean by tying it up. You tie it like this, and then you cut. Okay, it's still okay. All right guys, so here is our cup, and I'll just go and iron this. So you can iron this like this, or that's, or you just iron it normal with your tailor ham. So I'm done ironing this with my tailor ham. And make sure your cup is laying flat. Okay, make sure it's laying flat on the table. That is when you will know that your work is perfect. If it's laying flat like my, okay, if it's flat like this, you know your work is perfect. So here I'm going to show you how I'm going to add my boning to the lining. I'll be using boning on the lining. So you just mark. Guys, I'm so sorry, this boy is disturbing me, but I had to work now. I need to make the dress. So you just mark anyhow you like, just design it anyhow you like. Is an inward boning, so nobody's going to be seeing it. Is only on the lining, so just mark it anyhow, leaving your seam allowance. Okay, make sure if you're adding it, you should not get to your seam allowance, the upper part and the down part, so that you can join your cup. So here it is. After joining the boning, I added the the cup side. I sew in the cup side, and this is how it looks on the right side. Okay, so here is the net, the mesh that we'll be using. I added 1/2 inch round it. This is for the front panel. I added 1/2 inch also at the armhole and then the downside, not on the neckline. I did not add to the neckline. So I'm going to sew like this, and then I'll turn. And for the back, I'll stitch the neckline here. You remember, here is the neckline. Okay, so I'm done sewing the front, and I'm going to just trim out the excess I have. Okay, I turned the neckline with 1/2 inch. So another method is, if you want, you can just use it like that without turning it. Okay, so if you like, you can just sew in your net without turning the neckline. It will still come out perfect. Okay, so guys, this is what I have. I couldn't get exactly the matching thread of this mesh, so I just managed the one I have. Thank God it's my dress, so I will not have anyone complaining to me. So, but still, if you're making yours, try to get the matching thread, right? So you just sew the down parts together so that it will hold it in place, and then you place the middle part like this and pin. Okay, and then you're going to pin all round. So I'll pin all around, and then I will sew from that midpoint. I will sew up to the end point here. So if you have any excess, you can easily trim it out. Okay, there is no big deal. And then I will also do the same thing to the other side. I'll sew up to this point and trim out the excess. I'll do the same to this side. And for the back panel, I've also turned the neckline, and which I wish I did not do, because I would have leave it like that, not turning it, but I did turn it. So I'm trimming out the excess like this, and I'm gonna flip it over this way. Okay, so this is what we have, and then you're just gonna sew the down part to hold the two of them in place. Okay, and then you bring in your back panel. Remember to mark where your zipper allowance is like this, and then you get this and place this way. Okay, leaving like ½ inch or 0.75 from that zipper allowance, and then you're going to sew up to here. Okay, I'll do the same thing to the other side. So guys, I'm done doing that. I've joined this one and I also placed the lining on it like this, and I sew. Okay, I sew the lining also following the same okay. So what I'm trying to explain here is that I'm not supposed to place this boning like this. Since it's on the lining, I'm supposed to turn it this way and sew like this, and so instead of the way it's curved now. Okay, so in case if you are doing an what am I saying, in case you are doing an inner boning, a visible boning, so you need to turn your boning around so that it can be able to snatch your tummy or your waist very well. Okay, so the way it is now, that is not the way I'm supposed to sew my boning, as you can see. So when I wear it, it will just as if it's covering. I don't know if you guys get what I'm saying, so but I'll just use this one to augment it. Okay, since I made that mistake, I'll just fix in this plastic boning inside so that it will just stay in place. And I kind of like the outcome of it. It was looking so fine and firm, and you'll see guys after using this plastic boning. So the plastic boning is actually smaller than the Regilene boning I used. The Regilene boning is ½ inch, while the plastic boning is 0.25, so it fits in. So I just pushed it inward inside it. Okay, and I cut. Okay guys, just put it inside and then you cut. Okay, so I'll do that in all. As you can see guys, it's now laying flat and beautiful. Can you see? So I mistakenly cut out my fabric when I was trimming out the boning. As you can see here, I cut out my fabric when I was cutting the boning, so I can still, it's manageable. Can still fix in the skirt lining to it. Okay, so guys, here is the skirt lining. I'll just it's still also a doll face, even though it's a different shade. So I did the same thing I did to the front on the back panel also, and I fixed my zipper. As you can see, it's looking all beautiful. So I'll just use the lining and finish up the zipper, and then I will add the boning just like I did to the front panel, and then I will show you guys. Okay, so here I've torn the lining, the zipper side with my lining. Okay, and this is what we have. And next I'll just add in the skirt parts and lining, which I have done, and I've already shaped this, and I realized my camera was not capturing it, so I had to lose the down part here to show you guys. So you turn your gown just the normal way we turn gown. I did not do an inseam finishing, just the normal way we turn gown. Okay, so I had to lose this part so that I will show you what I mean before I finish it up. So my lining did not get to the down part because I realized it's gonna be too much. So here is the back panel. As you can see, it's all looking neat. I use lining to turn the zipper side. Okay, and that's all about this tutorial guys. Very easy and simple. So I want to show you guys something. Like here, the front panel is kind of, the bust side is kind of pulling inside, so I top stitch at the cup area like this because I'll be using appliques on it. And here I added, as you can see here, I added a bone in there. Okay, so that it will be stiff. It's as if it was falling in when I wore it. So I decided to just hold it, put a structure there so that it will be, since I did not add a bone into the front panel, I added boning to the lining, so I just decided to use that and hold that part. So I'm going to show you guys what I mean. So this is it. Okay, I just added a little boning here and I stitch it close to that seam. In short, not close, on the same seam. That is why you will not notice it at the right side. In case if you are not using an applique, you will not still see the seam at the right side. Okay, I sewed it on the seam, the same seam as the, what am I even saying? I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. Okay, I sewed the boning exactly on the seam of the bra cup, of the cup. Okay, so that it will not be visible. As you can see, the right side is not visible. Okay, when I turn out the right side, you will see that it's not visible, it's hidden because of the way I sewed it. Okay, so, and that is all. You just shape your dress to your normal shape, take your measurements, take your waist, your hip, and voila, we are done. And thus I'll show you guys the final look before the applique. So this is the final look. As you can see, it's looking beautiful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and share this video. If you have any questions, still leave it on the comment and I will attend to it. And this is the final look when I added some applique or trimmings to it. Okay, so you can make your sleeve, any sleeve of your choice. You can make it long sleeve. I have a basic sleeve tutorial on the channel. Thank you and see you in my next tutorial. Bye.